Alright, so this first picture, what I'm showing you is a UFO that's more like hardware, a ship, something mechanical in nature that does the same thing as every other one of these things do. Alright, so I'm watching the stills that I made after this photo. I've seen 2 or 3 of these kind of crafts where they're solid objects, not doing anything like what I seen the other night. So here's the stills coming up, or at least it should be. Okay. The object on the left is the big ball of red light. The object on the right, looking at my camera, long ways up and down, okay? The object on the right is a yellow ball of light. The object on the right that night resembled a lot of low or high pressure sodium street lights behind my house, almost to a T, except both of these objects were eliminating a plasma. How can I describe it? Okay. The left one was like 50 feet in diameter. The right one, I would say, was about 15 to 20. The little guy, the yellow guy, kind of looked and reminded me of what a little yellow sun would look like, and the guy on the left, which I mistaken in the video as I recorded it, was the bigger red object. Also looked like a miniature red dwarf sun. Both of them emanating a plasma. The best way I can describe it is a plasma. If you touch one of these Tesla coils that comes wrapped in glass, and you see the spark coming up to the glass when you touch it, that's what these look like without the glass, and many plasma. I don't know how to describe it any better than look like electrical flames, plasma. So these craft, now here, I flip the phone sideways to get a better, wider image, right? The odd part is this. It did something to my camera. I don't know what or how. Did 2 things. The object's inverted. That never happens. Not even at night. You can turn it and it'll make a wider pan. I forget what they call it. But anyway. These 2 objects, because on the video, I had to view it through my eyes because I could not believe what I was seeing. And I'd shake the video and then I'd stabilize it. So I took these stills, especially this spot, where it does something weird. The other thing it did weird with the camera is the camera did not pick up a great deal of red glow that I was seeing with my naked eye. And then the third thing was, these objects on the video seem closer. They're actually 5 times the distance apart. But the yellow one appeared first, and what caught my attention was when I rolled over in bed, my curtain was glowing red, and I thought the neighbor's place, or the guy next to him, I thought their place was on fire. It wasn't. I looked out the window at 2:30 in the morning, and I could see the glow. I could see the yellow guy, but I could not see what was making the glow. And there's a tall 8-foot fence. and it seemed like it was coming from the other side of the fence, maybe down a ways down. Then I thought maybe the woods or the swamp or whatever, palmettos are on fire. But as I went outside to investigate further, I took my camera, I got dressed. It was cold, super cold. That was a lot of my not being able to focus sometimes. I wound up going in, getting a sweatshirt eventually, came back out. But out of all the videos I made that night, this one was the best. It actually proves the two objects that were the most obvious. That night I mistook a few other lights in the back, on the back streets behind me that were street lights, but back there also, it's weird, they had them on top of poles that were like even taller, twice as tall almost. So in the distance, it kind of looked like the yellow guy. The next several nights after this event, I went out and I noticed everything I thought was and recognized as one of the yellow guys was not. I can only prove these two. These two traveled together from east, or from west to east, then north, and they made a slow turn right there in my backyard. Not directly overhead, but off just a little ways. I kept thinking, how come nobody's spotting this on radar? And I figured they were below the 500-foot level and approximately 125 foot up. Traveling slowly, every now and then they'd make a motion, dropping 30 feet, 40 feet, or left, right, like that. Basically just a slower, quicker movement, and then slowing down again. Sometimes hovering, and then traveling. Like I said, when they stopped right there, they traveled north. So I tried to magnify these and save them. I'm learning this program, and all I can say is I can't blow these photos up even though I want to. And if you have a touch screen, you can expand the image there. I don't know if you can do it on your laptops, maybe. But the other direct evidence I have was an event in Indiana, which is coming up. And that event's in my story. But it was really weird. I was taking a picture of what used to be a standard gas station that all the kids in the neighborhood worked at when that place was still farmland. And now it's a metropolis. But we were on my old street, and I took a photo of the sign at the gas station. As you see there, what you see at the top is a little platform. We used to climb up there and, just check out the view, have a beer, burn a doob in the old days. But if you look right above that water tower on the other side of US 30, you'll see an object in the sky. I didn't even know it was there till I developed the film. And I didn't think nothing of it till I remembered on the way back down my street, which would be going north, we're going south here. We're about where the house was in front of it. But if you go the other way, and I took a picture of a motel, there it is. An hour after having dinner in one of the malls over there, and I can't remember what the place was, we came back, and I was amazed that right here was this motel on the other side of the street, and behind it would have been the old railroad tracks. But up in the sky, above the left gable end, where the orange sign is, there's, if this picture is correct, there's a slot in the sky where you can see blue. Well, that object drifted into that spot. Now, it was very windy. This was the night before a major snowstorm. The first part picture of the object is it in front of the storm. And later, The next morning it snowed, and the winds were so quick that this object couldn't have just floated that slowly, and it only traveled, maybe, my opinion, my observation of my old neighborhood, approximately, I would say, 5 miles, 6 max, in probably an hour, hour and a half. After we ate dinner, we went back home to Hobart, Indiana, and I found that in the picture. And those winds were buffeting that day. And that storm came through and dumped a good foot, foot and a half. The next morning we woke up, and there it was. But at any rate, this object was, I thought it was a balloon possibly first. It's not a balloon. If it was, it would have blew away really quick. It would have traveled quick. And so that was odd. I was lucky to get a before photo and an after photo of our time in the restaurant. So there it is. It was the most amazing thing I've seen in Florida in a long time. I don't know what else to say, except for you never know what's going to pop up into your area of operations. So there it is, and I'm going to shut this one down. Alright, I'm going to add this too. I got 2 photos of these volcanoes that went off a couple years back. Right now, there's 26, the last I counted, active volcanoes around the world. And not to mention thousands of wildfires. And this means absolutely, how can I say it? It means that we are putting way less pollution into the atmosphere than the Earth does. Not only that, the Earth is in precession, which means wobble, and that could explain all the climate change weather events. It's not about global warming. The Earth has gone through this many times. If it gets out of hand, it will go into an ice age. That is a known fact. So this climate change is basically a money grab thing. It is not true. We're nowhere near where there's a danger zone. Over and out.